welcome to the panel, the Q&A part of this event. I just realized that actually this 10 means that this is the 10th edition of RailsGirls in Krakow. How cool! I'm very grateful to be joined by two, Tomasz and Kasia, who are all experienced software engineers and will help me answer your questions. So thank you for the questions. We actually reached over 20 questions. So good job, y'all. And yeah, we just edited the questions because some of you had similar questions. So we will have actually 9 or 10 questions today. So let's start with this very common question: what skills are a must-have during the recruitment process, and how does the process look like? And for this, I would like maybe Tomek to start.
Okay, that works. I'll request for easy recipes and answers for those. There's no single answer, of course. Like every company is going to have a different recruitment process. There's no common set of skills except some basic proficiency in the tools that you're applying, like that are related to the position that you're applying to. I'm going to use that as an opportunity to embarrass Basia again. I've been doing her technical verification quite recently, and I would say for me, at least, the most important thing is seeing confidence. And not like confidence is not like, okay, I'm going to go for like a hero for the task, but making sure that before you do anything, write a line of code or answer a question, be sure that you understand the question, be sure that you understand what you want this line of code to happen. Only then find the line of code or an answer that's going to make that happen, and only then type it or express it out loud. Don't try to avoid guessing the answers and stuff like that. It's much better to just say, okay, I don't know, let's move on, or maybe I have this feeling but I'm not actually sure, than doing the wrong thing, giving the wrong answer, typing like a random line of code that doesn't actually do what it's supposed to do. So yeah, I mentioned Basia. I could almost feel her shaking through the screen of a Zoom call. So it's not like she was confident in a way that, okay, I got this, it was like a completely opposite thing, but the more so, she was like super careful about what she's doing. She repeated some questions a couple of times, made sure that we understood each other, like what I meant, what I wanted her to do. Then made sure 3 times, okay, I'm going to write a line of code. She first tested it in console. Even if it was super obvious, it should be super obvious, it's better to test it or not, and only then put that in a final solution. And if I see that, I know I can trust a person to not make silly mistakes. I know that she will first, if she doesn't know something, then she will ask someone. If she types some solution, she's going to test it before going further with it. So even if you don't have like a super confidence in your skills, then make sure everything you can do to make a confident next step, even if the smallest one. I know that's not the full answer to the question, but I think this is like the most valuable I can give you.
And what could you add to that, or what are your thoughts?
Recently, I've been doing some recruitment for the company that I've been working with. Besides technical skills of the job that we are applying for, I would say for me it's communication. Because from a perspective of a recruiter, I'm not only recruiting an employee, but also a person I work with. That will be my future colleagues. So I would expect somebody to, like I mentioned, would communicate with me what he or she trying to do, what is their plan, what is their difficulty. If they don't know something, I expect them to say that they don't know, and we can discuss about it, we can pair about it. It's more, for me, it's more about the attitude. You're eager to learn, you're eager to say that you don't know something, it's something that I would love to see. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And since you've been interviewing so many people right now, like how does a process, like recruitment process, look like?
So usually, I think it would depend from companies to companies, but usually we have like an online assessment. When you do some kind of assessment, you will be given 2 to 3 days to do an assessment. You send it back to recruitment team, we review it, and based on the result, we invite you for a technical interview. There will be some questions related to like Ruby or Rails if you're applying for a Ruby and Rails position.
Mm-hmm.
There's also something related to like database, infrastructure, because basically you have to touch that sooner or later. Also depends on the interview, but sometimes we also do pair programming to see how you are thinking, how you're approaching the problems, how you'll be working in the team, and if we would fit into the culture or not.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. So I just want to show like how varied it can be. Because for instance what we do is the whole technical verification at least. It's an hour, maybe hour and a half. It's like 45 minutes of live coding and then half an hour of talking about the experience without very specific questions, without taking home challenge, etc. And that's basically, I believe at least, everything that we know, at least in terms of technical competency. After that, we have like just with the managers, which is about more of the soft skills, approach to work and stuff like that. And before of that, we have a screening with a recruiter, which is not very technical, but she has some understanding about what we do and actually can at least feel if the person she's talking to knows what he is talking about, even if she doesn't know the details. Right? But even technical verification could be like super different.
And okay, so like we are kind of privileged because we already have some years of experience in this industry. But like, what kind of advice you would have for a person like our attendees who are like new, who don't know many companies? How can they find a good employer, and what would be the red flags, they should pay attention to during a recruitment process, that, oh, maybe this company is not as great as they claim to be? Kasia, do you have any?
Yeah. I think that when you're recruiting with a company, you should know about the company. So usually companies will, have some information on the web page, their services like Glassdoor or some other one where you can find opinions. But I think it's really best to reach out to people you know, and you know people now, you know mentors and you know people who work in the community. Just ask them and see if anybody knows anybody who works at the company, because this is the most reliable source of information about what's going on inside. Personally, for me, any red flag would be any mention of working overtime, especially when it's not like strictly regulated, because some companies do have this sort of hard-working vibe where it's considered almost rude leaving at 6 or 5 or whatever your end working hour is. But this is, I think this is like a personal choice. Like, I would advise against working more than 8 hours a day. But this is something that you have to sort of figure out for yourself. I think that I always would like to know about is how many women are working in the company, and especially how many women will be on the team or the teams that you will be working with or working around. This is important for me, and it also shows if the company is really dedicated to hiring anyone except for a young man. Mm-hmm. The same goes for family benefits and all the kind of other perks, as we say, or benefits that are not that are like outside of the salary that you're getting?
Maybe another thing. Please also remember that the recruitment process is for the both sides. It's also for you to judge whether the company is for you. So you can just go through the whole process. Don't worry that you're going to waste someone's time, etc. There's like, it's a two-way relationship. If you don't, after the recruitment process, if you have any doubts, if you don't feel it, if there are people involved in the recruitment process seem completely uninterested, they didn't seem like they want you to succeed,
Yeah.
it's fine to just drop out and without effort. And yeah.
Yep, you're evaluating the company as the company is evaluating you. It's a two-way street.
Another question that was very common was how much time do I need to transition from my current job to a software engineering job? And I would like maybe to start on that because you have a very interesting story.
Yeah, so my story is that I lost the job at the company, and then I'm so free. So I started learning programming. Basically, I did that full time, the whole week, even weekend. So for me, it took me around 9 months to finally get the okay from the company. But I wouldn't take that as a standard amount of time. I would say because usually people have some work they have to do, and then they can only learn programming in free time or in evening. So for me, it's not about, you should set the limit for you. Like when you started learning something and you wanted to land a job, for me it's more about setting, okay, for me it's 1 year. I said 1 year because I have a lot of time. But if you have less time, you can set like 1.5 years or 2 years. But don't go without a limit of time because then you go like forever without, waiting to send out the application. So I guess that everybody has different style. My style is to put a little pressure on myself so I know that I have something that I have to achieve. And I don't think that I can recommend that to everyone, so it's kind of doing it the hard way.
Yeah, I really love this idea of setting yourself some kind of time frame. I think it's very useful. Also, I, for example, learned by doing, so for me, even taking part in recruitment processes at the beginning was like a good way to practice and to see what I still need to learn and what I'm good at, but what could I improve. So I think this is great, like if you can have so much time committed to that, but yeah.
Also, one thing I want to add is that I didn't wait until I felt like I'm good enough that I sent out an application. I actually was learning a couple of months and I wanted to know what they are expecting from me. So when I sent out an application, I actually sent out a lot. And I didn't receive also a lot of feedback and even the reply. But what I wanted the most is the feedback from the employer. What am I missing? What can I do more? What is the market requiring from me? So that I can come back and learn more. So what I would advise is to send out the application whenever you feel like you want to know what you can do more. Don't wait until the end.
Yeah. Tom, do you want to add something?
Yeah, like one thing, even if you don't feel you are ready for a company, but you know a company that looks cool and you would like to form, I still think it's okay to just ask, hey, I'm this and that person, I know that and that, this is my experience, your company looks cool, I don't think I can apply right now, but can you tell me what I need to do to at least see you are here so we can commit some time and evaluate me. I'm pretty sure this is a company that is actually committed to building a good engineering culture and team. They will have some response. If not, that might be a red flag. So that's one thing. The second thing is a similar vein that Bash's presentation. It might be that it's not you that's wrong. People on the recruitment side are also people managing companies, big and small, are also people with their biases and their days and moods and stuff like that. So before you internalize and judge yourself based on the feedback of the company or lack thereof, then just make sure that it comes from the right place. just don't try to discourage it because someone didn't apply or stuff like that. It might not also be like a fault of an individual in that company, that's just the culture. Not all of that has had impact on like how the company looks from the outside.
Kasia, do you want to add anything?
I would just reiterate what Tomasz and Fu already said. Do not be discouraged by like job offers that list 71 different requirements. If you feel like this is a company that you would like and this is a position that you would see yourself working in, even if you don't have the experience for now, you can apply. And either in like a soft way that Roman described, or just apply and see what happens. Frequently, like during the recruitment process, you can end up with an offer that does not match the job description of the position that you actually applied in, and this is a good thing. This is like a recruiter is recognizing that you may like this and this and that, but you have other skills that will be used better in another positions of theirs or something. So this is all, it's not like fixed in stone. So the most important thing is if you feel like you could work at a company X, maybe apply and see what happens. I also sort of realized that women has the tendency of doing 110% of what's being asked of them. So if you see a job offer and you figure you're like good in 5 out of 10 requirements that they're listing, apply, because other people are also applying. Like no one is waiting until they take all the boxes. Like it never happens. The companies, they also want to recruit the best people that there are, and they're also sort of overshooting. So do not be discouraged by this.
Yeah, this is something what I am very passionate about, by the way, because first of all, I had a story where I got a job I was underqualified for, like I didn't hit all of the boxes and still got a job. It's a story for another time, I think, but also I'm very passionate, about what people put in job descriptions. I think the requirements overall are often like full of good maybe intentions, but sometimes even contradict itself. I have like a full, don't wanna like shameless plug, but I have like a 2 or 3 YouTube videos on that when I go through some job offers and I show why they don't make sense, frankly speaking. So yeah, if you feel that you want to apply, just apply and figure it out, and you don't have to, even if you don't succeed in the process, like it doesn't mean that you cannot apply again in some time, like 3 or 4 months or 6 months, it doesn't really mean that. So yeah, just keep it in mind. Okay, I want to be mindful of the time, so let's move on. So there was a question that I would like to also ask, because so is there a crisis in tech, and are there like fewer positions for juniors, and is there a place for juniors in tech still? Who wants to answer?
I can give a short answer.
Yeah.
Whether there is a crisis in tech, I don't know, but the current sort of market situation is that the companies are, I would say, careful about hiring people and careful about making expenses. So the vibe is like, maybe we're not going to do this 2,000 person conference this year. Maybe we're going to scale back on, Fruit Thursdays or whatever. And this, of course, hurts the most junior positions. But if you want to sort of, if you want to get a job in IT, this should not discourage you, because you're playing the long game and not the short game. So if you can, just keep learning and keep applying, and just try. Tomasz.
Yes, one more thing. Actually, by the virtue of being here, you are actually in like top couple percent of potential candidates because you show initiative. You are here, you try to learn. You are not just like, I don't know, attending a bootcamp hoping you'll get a job for good money. Show that. Show that on the recruitment process. So even if companies might be more careful about hiring people, there's always a shortage of ambitious people that think about what they're doing and want to actually excel and not just be there for the money. So that's like one thing, and I would say really try to show why. Like if you just like apply for plain CV, you're one of the 1,000 people on the mailbox. That's why things like asking, like if you have played before, asking about, okay, I really would like to work with you. Just doing that and typing that to an email and not just like a random just join it form, you are making yourself special in the midst of thousands of CVs. So yeah, if you're playing the long game, if you actually want a career there, it's something that you're passionate about, I think it's still worth it and shouldn't be. It might be hard because it's also like not fully under your control and companies are different, but I think it's worth it and shouldn't discourage you from going forward.
Yes, but and also from from my perspective, like there maybe are not so many cool jobs in cool startups that has like hundreds of millions of funding, but there is still lots of work in businesses and in public sector as well. Like I live in Germany, and the public institutions and cultural institutions are like. They are like they are looking for new people and also for junior people. So this is like we are all, of course we are in this cool place, Zendesk and all of those amazing sponsors that I will mention later, and that these are cool startups and wow, so cool Fruit Fridays, whatever. But there are many companies that look for engineers and software engineers. So. Yeah, just keep it in mind. Don't like focus on startups solely. Yeah, maybe do you have like your perspective on that?
Yes. So in the past, I used to recruit a lot of juniors, and yes, we have the crisis, but you need to get yourself ready because when the crisis is over, the flow of application will be flying in. And if you wait until the crisis is over to start preparing, that will be too late. And I also agree that a lot of companies opening position for like working students or intern. Of course, you will not get like fully paid as a working engineer, but it's a good opportunity to learn, to grow, and to enlarge your network. You know more people, and these people will have some connection that will help you like find your ideal company in the future.
Yes. And speaking of crisis of shortage of work. Will the artificial intelligence replace all the programmers? That was the question, right? A great question to answer.
I'm not paying my car mechanic to use the tools. I'm paying him to know which one and how and when and why to use. And that's something that's not going to be resolved by AI. Usually, the longer you are an engineer, the less coding you are doing. You are thinking about what the code should do and trying to find holes in the specifications, etc. So yes, while some companies, some people might try to resort to using AI for some simple scripts, etc., I don't think it will replace actual engineering that we are doing. I don't see that as a threat, even for junior people. And if some company says, okay, we don't need people, we have ChatGPT, that is a red flag, don't go there.
Okay, so still mindful of time, so let's go on. So what is the future of Ruby, and why should I learn Ruby and not Python? Any takers?
Like I don't have a clear answer on that, but since you are on RailsGirls and you've already started learning Ruby, maybe continue with that. I don't know. But it's like every language that you know is just a tool in your toolbox, and some are different than others. And ultimately, it's a little bit of a bet, maybe, like which language to learn so that you know it best. Or languages are tools, and like I don't know, like the databases, different kinds of databases, etc. These are all tools, and you can use many of them to like fit many solutions. But you have to like narrow down your search, and you have to narrow down your focus. So if I were you, like, I don't actually remember why I chose Ruby. I know that I went to the RailsGirls workshop in Poznan, but I don't know why RailsGirls workshop and not like Jungle Girls or something. I think it was just available, and that's like a good reason as any. And I continue with that because I like the language, like it was nice. So I continue with this, but like on your journey, you might be asked to learn another language, or you might get bored with Ruby and try something else, like a different paradigm or something, and that's completely fine. But since you're beginners, you just have to narrow your focus. And since you started with Ruby, maybe continue with Ruby unless you decide after today that you absolutely hate it. Maybe just try Python, you know.
I would limit the scope of the question to what language should I learn first, because like let's say like Ruby, Python, it doesn't matter. If you learn Ruby, if you understand Ruby, I will hire you as a Python developer. It doesn't really matter. It's going to be a couple of weeks to get up to speed with the syntax. Going level higher, we have Rails in Ruby, and Django is the framework for choice in Python. I would say actually there is a huge benefit in first learning the first one and then trying the second one, because seeing how different tools solve the same problems often give you like a light bulb moment. Aha, that's why it's that way. That you are not just accepting this and by comparison you are learning more. I would say still Ruby and Rails is easier for learning for two reasons. At this point it's boring. I mean it's easy, it solves everything for you, but it's not like hype anymore. It's boring. The practices are established, you can find any information that you want, it's not going to change every month, etc. So I would say it's a good choice. And again, even if you apply, you are going to say, you can say, I started with Ruby, it's in the best chance for learning, I'm very open to trying new things, and that's also a benefit in my eyes as a recruiter.
Any take on that too?
My answer would be, it depends. For example, if you have a mentor who is specialized in Python, you have your friends who is coding in Python, then you have a workshop in Python, so why not go for Python? We have RailsGirls workshop, and for me, I attended RailsGirls workshop, and that's why I learned Ruby. And after that, I have a mentor who is coding in Ruby. I know people who are coding in Ruby, and I just go with the flow. But to be honest, in general, it's more about the whole thing, like how web application is working. You know about the core thing, about infrastructure, about the design, and then you can adjust based on the language. And like Tomasz said, there's a lot of cases when you know one language, but you can actually apply for another one if you know the basic things about the web app development.
Yeah, I agree. And also we have another question about, like, should I buy a Mac or a Windows? It depends. Whatever you are planning to learn, whatever things you are planning to build, then Windows machine will be better for you, or a Mac machine. Like, as all of you mentioned, these are tools, basically, for you. So,
one thing, don't feel like you need a Mac just because everyone in the industry uses Mac. If there are like budgetary constraints and stuff like that. Right now with Windows, especially with the like Windows subsystem for Linux or whatever, you can basically do everything on all the platforms. So don't feel that you need a Mac just because it's cool.
yes. We are soon be closing this QA. So Q&A. So I have two last questions. First is, what can I do when I feel frustrated or discouraged? Maybe Kasia.
reach out to someone. Who mentioned mentor. Also, Natalia, I think, mentioned having a mentor in her presentation. Like, not like, you know, like a workshop mentor, but like a person that can help you out, that is more experienced than you are. It would be best if they would like know the same technology, because then they can help you the most. You already know people who are working professionally with Ruby, so like use that. I don't want to speak for everybody, but ask your mentors. Maybe it's okay to keep in touch with them. Maybe use them for answering some questions. Maybe they agree to like take one after the workshop and work with you. There are also programs like the RT, for example, that match you with a mentor and enable a longer term partnership. Karolina was my mentee in another IT program. I actually managed to take her out of PHP and convince her to use Ruby. That wasn't my intention, just it worked out that way. So there are definitely ways to stay in the community. But like if you're feeling low, if you're feeling the imposter syndrome, if nothing is working, if everything in your console is like red, just talk to someone. Talk to your friends from here, from the workshops. Talk to your mentor. Find an online community that works for you. Programming can be like a very solitary experience maybe, but ultimately we're working for people and with people, so don't like shy away from that.
And the last question, what to do after RailsGirls? Maybe two, you can share your experience again.
Maybe I can tell my past. So after RailsGirls, I had another idea for an application. And I was actually developing with the girl who was in my team. So we continued using GitHub and talk to each other about code. And Asha was my mentor at that time, and she continued to be my mentor. So I consulted with her about the product, like what else can I do more to make it like more impressive, more fun, and so on. And then I guess by luck I had a chance to join another workshop also about Ruby and Ruby on Rails. And actually use that application as an application form, like for another workshop. And it just kept going to another workshop, and then I just found the recruitment information in the company, and I just applied for it. So I guess my advice would be continue to code, don't stop, because when you stop, you kind of slowly forget about the thing that you learned here. It's more about a muscle memory for me. So.
I would say if you can actually do it before you actually start your career, trying to find a way to start your career is your full-time job. So again, attend any event that you can, be around people, you will learn more, and you will find opportunities. Opportunities will find you. You will know sooner if you're going to the right direction or not, and stuff like that. So I would say the more you're around people in the industry, the better.
Yeah, networking is like such an overused word, and like I don't even know what it means anymore. But we're gonna do networking later, so. But like my first job I found like online, but any other jobs they just came through my network. Somebody knew someone who needed someone. Somebody knew that I was doing this basically, and they asked, oh, maybe we can work together, and we did. And it's just how people work, right? So as I mentioned, like programming may be a solitary activity, but it's hard to escape other people. So make connections. Just this one, and don't be scared to ask for feedback. Don't be scared to ask for some sort of evaluation from people who are who know more than you. But also like be wary that it's a commitment to become a mentor. So like discuss it openly. That would be my suggestion here.
Yeah, I think it's fun, and you know, like look around now. In order to look around, you need to move your head. And I didn't see any heads moving, except of Justinas, which I appreciate. So look around again. Yeah, these are your people. This is your crew. Like you can, you know, as to mention, like you can pair up with someone from your team or from the other team, and you know, learn together, meet every, I don't know, 2 weeks or 1 week on Zoom for 30 minutes or 15 minutes, and just talk what did you do to like inspire yourself and motivate yourself. You have now access to all of the people in the red t-shirts who happen to be mentors today. So like you use this, and you know, later when we have networking, just talk to people and you know, make this commitment to each other. I think, you know, like it's, you all actually mentioned this, but the solitary activity, like, but learning is maybe solitary activity, but actually when you work in a team, you're never alone. So don't make it too hard for yourself, and good luck. We are so over time, but I hope it was helpful for you. And of course, you can still, like, in the after the party, please feel free to ask our awesome panelists questions, also your mentors.